Before we begin this story, think about one question. What does true success really mean? Is it money, power, or something deeper, something that stays even after a person is gone? Today, we explore a life that quietly answered this question, not with loud words, but with simple actions, discipline, and values. This is the story of Ratan Tata, a man who led one of the biggest business groups in India, the Tatas, but never let success change his simplicity. A man who made bold decisions, like taking Indian companies to the global stage, and yet stayed grounded, calm, and deeply human. Behind the success of companies, behind famous decisions, there is a silent journey full of responsibility, loneliness, difficult choices, and strong values. As you listen to this story, you will not only improve your English, your listening, your understanding, but you will also learn what real leadership looks like. Not loud, not flashy, but steady, thoughtful, and meaningful. This is not just a business story. This is the story of Ratan Tata. Ratan Naval Tata was born on 28th December 1937 in Mumbai, which was known as Bombay at that time. He was born into the well-known Tata family, a name trusted across India for business and social work. His father was Naval Tata and his mother was Suni Tata. From the outside, his life seemed comfortable, but inside his home, things were not stable. When he was around 10 years old, his parents separated. For a young child, this was a painful and confusing experience. It changed the way he saw the world. After this, Ratan Tata and his younger brother Jimmy Tata were raised by their grandmother, Lady Navajbai Tata. She became one of the most important influences in his life. She gave him love, but she also gave him discipline and strong values. She taught him to stay humble, to respect others, and to always stand for what is right, even when it is difficult. These lessons slowly shaped his personality. He grew up as a quiet and thoughtful child. He did not try to attract attention. Instead, he observed people carefully and understood situations deeply. This habit of observation became one of his greatest strengths. He studied at Campion School in Mumbai and later at Cathedral and John Connon School. His school life was simple. He focused on learning and understanding rather than showing off or competing loudly. After finishing school, he moved to the United States for higher education. He joined Cornell University in New York and chose to study architecture. This was not a common choice for someone from a business family, but it reflected his interest in design and creativity. Life in the United States was very different. He lived like a normal student, without showing his family background. Many people around him did not even know who he was. He managed his daily life on his own, handled his expenses, and learnt the value of independence. These years helped him grow stronger, not just in knowledge, but in character. He understood what it means to stand on your own feet and take responsibility for your life. After completing his degree, he also attended a management program at Harvard Business School. This gave him a broader understanding of how organizations work and how decisions are made. But even after spending years abroad, he did not feel disconnected from India. He made a clear decision to return, not for comfort or position, but to begin his journey with real work and real learning. At this point, his life was still simple, still quiet, but the foundation had been built, a foundation of values, discipline, and inner strength that would guide everything he would do next. When Ratan Tata returned to India, he joined the Tata Group in 1962. He began his journey at Tata Steel in Jamshedpur. His role was not in a comfortable office. He worked on the shop floor, where the environment was physically demanding and required strong discipline. In this role, he stayed close to the daily operations of the company. He observed how steel was produced, how teams worked together, and how each step in the process depended on the other. He saw the effort required to maintain quality and consistency. This experience gave him a clear understanding of how an industrial business functions at the ground level. Working in this environment also helped him understand people. He interacted with workers who handled difficult tasks every day. He saw their challenges, their discipline, and their commitment. This created a sense of respect in him for the workforce. He learned that a company does not run only on plans and ideas, but on the effort of people who work every day to keep it moving. After gaining this experience, he continued working in different parts of the Tata Group. He moved across roles that exposed him to various businesses and functions. Each role helped him understand a different side of the organization. He learned how decisions were made, how teams were managed, and how problems were solved. During these years, he did not try to move quickly or seek recognition. He focused on learning and building his understanding step by step. He paid attention to details and observed how different parts of the group operated. In 1971, he was given a major responsibility. He became the director in charge of National Radio and Electronics Company Limited, known as NELCO. At that time, the company was facing serious challenges. It had weak performance and a limited position in the market. He accepted this role with a clear intention to improve the situation. He worked on upgrading technology, improving product quality, and strengthening planning. His efforts began to show progress and the company started to improve. However, this improvement did not continue for long. External economic conditions and internal challenges affected the company's growth. As a result, Nelco faced difficulties again. This situation tested his patience and understanding. From this experience, he learned that results are not always controlled by effort alone. He understood the importance of staying steady during difficult times and learning from every situation. These early years were important because they built his foundation in real work. He developed a practical understanding of business, people, and challenges. This learning would later help him take on greater responsibilities with clarity and confidence. As Ratan Tata continued working within the Tata Group, his role slowly began to change. He was no longer only learning from experience. He was now beginning to think about direction, structure, and the future of the organization. His understanding of business was becoming deeper and more complete. During the late 1970s and early 1980s, he worked across different companies in the group. These experiences helped him see how each business operated, but they also showed him something important. Many Tata companies were functioning independently, without a strong common direction. This made the group less connected and less efficient as a whole. Ratan Tata began to think about how this could be improved. He believed that for long-term success, the group needed unity and a shared vision. He felt that all companies should move in the same direction, with clear goals and stronger coordination. These ideas were still developing in his mind, but they would later become very important. In 1981, he was appointed as the chairman of Tata Industries. This was a significant step in his journey. Tata Industries focused on creating new businesses and exploring future opportunities. This role gave him the space to think about innovation, technology, and long-term growth. In this position, he started encouraging new ideas. He believed that the group should not depend only on traditional industries. He wanted to explore areas that could shape the future, including technology and modern business practices. He supported projects that were forward-looking and aimed at long-term development. At the same time, he remained careful and patient. He did not try to force change quickly. He understood that large organizations take time to adapt. He focused on building ideas, understanding challenges, and preparing for gradual transformation. His approach to leadership also became clearer during this period. He preferred listening over speaking and observation over quick reaction. He believed that strong decisions come from understanding, not from pressure. These years helped him move from being a learner to becoming a thinker and planner. He was developing a clear sense of what the Tata Group could become in the future. By this stage, his journey had entered a new phase. He was no longer only gaining experience, he was beginning to shape ideas that would later influence the direction of the entire group. In 1991, an important change took place in the Tata Group. J.R.D. Tata, who had led the group for many years, decided to step down as chairman. His leadership had built a strong foundation and he was highly respected across the country. The responsibility of leading the group now had to be passed on to someone who could guide it into the future. Ratan Tata was chosen as the new chairman of the Tata Group. This was a major step in his journey, but it was also a challenging situation. The group was large and included many companies that were managed independently. Several senior leaders were used to working in their own way, and not all of them were ready to accept a new leadership style. Ratan Tata understood that change would not be easy. He knew that he needed to move carefully and with patience. Instead of making sudden decisions, he focused on creating a clear direction for the group. He believed that all Tata companies should follow a shared vision and work together as one strong organization. One of the early changes he introduced was a retirement policy for senior leaders. This decision created space for new leadership and fresh thinking. It was not an easy step, but he believed it was necessary for long-term growth. He also worked on strengthening the identity of the Tata brand. Earlier, many companies operated separately without a clear connection. He encouraged a more unified image so that people could recognize the group as one trusted name. At the same time, he began improving internal systems. He focused on making companies more efficient and more responsible in their performance. He encouraged better planning and stronger coordination between different parts of the group. This period required steady thinking and strong discipline. Ratan Tata did not try to prove himself quickly. He focused on building trust, setting direction, and making gradual changes that would last. These early years as chairman were about creating stability and clarity. He was preparing the Tata Group for a future that would require both strength and adaptability. After establishing himself as chairman, Ratan Tata focused on making the Tata Group more organized and disciplined. He understood that for the group to grow in a strong and stable way, it needed better structure and clearer systems. He began by improving coordination between different Tata companies. Earlier, many companies worked independently and did not always align with a common direction. Ratan Tata encouraged them to work together with shared goals and values. This helped create a stronger sense of unity across the group. He also introduced better systems for performance and accountability. Companies were expected to maintain high standards in their work and take responsibility for their results. He believed that success should come with discipline and consistency, not just growth. At the same time, he made some difficult decisions. Certain businesses that were not performing well were restructured or gradually closed. These decisions were not easy, but he focused on what would benefit the group in the long term. Ratan Tata also gave importance to professional management. He supported capable individuals and gave them opportunities to lead. He believed that leadership should be based on ability, understanding, and commitment. Another important step was strengthening the identity of the Tata brand. He encouraged companies to follow common values and present a consistent image. This helped build trust among customers and created a clear recognition of the Tata name. During this period, India was also changing economically. New opportunities and competition were increasing. Ratan Tata understood that the group needed to become more efficient and adaptable. He encouraged a mindset that was open to change and ready to improve. Through these efforts, the Tata Group became more structured and focused. The changes were gradual, but they created a strong foundation. Ratan Tata was building a system that could support future growth while staying true to its values. After strengthening the internal structure of the Tata Group, Ratan Tata began to focus on growth beyond India. He believed that the group should not remain limited to the domestic market. He wanted Tata companies to compete at an international level and build a global presence. At that time, this idea was not very common for Indian companies. Global markets were highly competitive and many businesses were still focused on local growth. But Ratan Tata believed that with the right strategy and confidence, the group could expand successfully. He encouraged companies within the group to explore opportunities in other countries. This required careful planning, understanding of global standards, and the ability to adapt to different environments. It also required a willingness to take calculated risks. In 2000, Tata Tea made an important move by acquiring Tetley, a well-known tea brand based in the United Kingdom. This was a significant moment because it showed that an Indian company could successfully take over an international brand. It also helped the group gain recognition in global markets. This step increased confidence within the organization. It showed that global expansion was possible with the right approach. Ratan Tata continued to support such efforts and encouraged companies to think beyond traditional boundaries. He also focused on improving quality and systems to match international standards. He understood that entering global markets required strong products, reliable processes, and a clear understanding of customer expectations. At the same time, he made sure that the group remained connected to its core values. Even while expanding internationally, he emphasized honesty, responsibility, and respect in every business decision. This phase marked an important transition. The Tata Group was no longer only growing within India. It was beginning to build its presence across the world, step by step, with confidence and clarity. As the Tata Group became more confident in international markets, Ratan Tata began to take larger and more challenging decisions. These decisions were not only about expansion, but also about building strong global capability. In 2004, Tata Motors acquired Daewoo Commercial Vehicle Company from South Korea. This step helped the company improve its technology and strengthen its position in the commercial vehicle segment. It also gave Tata Motors a stronger presence outside India. In 2007, Tata Steel made a major acquisition by taking over Chorus, a large steel company based in the United Kingdom and the Netherlands. This was one of the biggest international deals made by an Indian company at that time. The acquisition increased Tata Steel's global reach and gave it access to advanced technology and larger markets. In 2008, Tata Motors acquired Jaguar and Land Rover from Ford Motor Company. These were well-known luxury car brands with a long history. At that time, both brands were facing challenges, and many people believed that this decision was risky. Ratan Tata carefully considered the situation and decided to move forward. He believed that with the right management and long-term thinking, these brands could improve and grow. This decision required courage because the financial and operational risks were high. Managing these global companies was not simple. There were differences in culture, systems, and expectations. It required careful planning and strong leadership to bring everything together. Ratan Tata remained steady and focused during this process. These decisions brought international attention to the Tata Group. It was now seen as a serious global player, capable of competing with large international companies. This phase of his leadership showed his ability to take calculated risks. He combined careful thinking with the courage to act when needed. Through these steps, the Tata Group strengthened its global position and built a reputation for ambition and capability. While expanding globally, Ratan Tata also focused on solving real problems within India. He believed that business should not only grow in size but also improve people's daily lives. He wanted to create products that were useful, affordable, and meaningful for common people. One idea that stayed strongly in his mind came from a simple observation. He once saw a family of 4 traveling on a scooter. The parents were trying to protect their children while riding on a busy road. The situation looked unsafe, and this made him think deeply. He began to consider whether it was possible to create a car that an average Indian family could afford. At that time, owning a car was expensive for many people. His goal was to design a safe and low-cost vehicle that could be used by middle-class families. This idea led to the development of the Tata Nano. The project was challenging from the beginning. The team had to design a car that was affordable while still maintaining basic safety and quality. This required new thinking, careful planning, and strong teamwork. In 2008, the Tata Nano was introduced to the public. It was presented as one of the most affordable cars in the world. The launch received wide attention both in India and internationally. Many people appreciated the effort to make car ownership more accessible. However, the project also faced several difficulties. There were challenges in production, market perception, and overall demand. Over time, the Nano did not achieve the level of success that was expected. Ratan Tata accepted this outcome with a balanced mindset. He did not see it only as a failure, but as a learning experience. He believed that innovation always involves risk, and not every idea will succeed in the market. This phase showed his willingness to think differently and take bold steps for a larger purpose. He was not only focused on profit, but also on creating solutions that could make a real difference in people's lives. After many years of leading the Tata Group, Ratan Tata decided to step down from his role as chairman in 2012. This marked the end of an important phase in his professional journey. He had guided the group through major changes, and now it was time for new leadership to take responsibility. After stepping down, he took on the role of Chairman Emeritus. In this position, he was not involved in daily operations, but he remained connected to the group as a guide and advisor. His experience and understanding continued to be valuable for the organization. During this period, he focused more on areas that were close to his values. A large part of his time went into supporting social initiatives through Tata Trusts. These efforts worked in areas such as education, healthcare, rural development, and improving the quality of life for people in need. He also showed strong interest in supporting young entrepreneurs. He began investing in startups and encouraging new ideas. He believed that innovation and fresh thinking were important for the future of the country. By supporting new businesses, he helped create opportunities for the next generation. Even without holding a top position, he remained widely respected. People admired him not only for his achievements, but also for his character. His calm nature, simple lifestyle, and strong values continued to inspire many. In 2016, due to internal challenges within the Tata Group, he returned for a short period as interim chairman. He helped bring stability during a difficult time and ensured that the organization continued to move in the right direction. After this, he stepped back again and returned to his advisory role. This phase of his life showed that leadership does not end with a position. It continues through guidance, support, and the impact one creates over time. In his later years, Ratan Tata continued to live with the same values that had guided him throughout his life. He stayed away from attention and public display, but he remained active in meaningful work. He continued supporting social initiatives through Tata Trusts, focusing on improving lives across India in areas such as education, healthcare, and rural development. He also remained closely connected to young entrepreneurs. He supported startups, shared his experience, and encouraged new ideas. He believed that the future depended on innovation and the courage to think differently. His support helped many young founders build their journey with confidence. Even in his later years, people across the country continued to respect and admire him. He was seen not only as a successful businessman, but as a person of integrity and humility. His quiet way of leading and his respect for others made him different from many other leaders. On 9th October 2024, Ratan Tata passed away in Mumbai at the age of 86. His passing was deeply felt across India and in many parts of the world. People from different backgrounds remembered him with respect and gratitude. His life had touched many, not only through business, but also through his values and actions. His journey leaves behind a clear message. Success is not only about growth or achievement, it is about staying true to your values, treating people with respect, and using your position to create a positive impact. Ratan Tata's life is remembered not just for what he built, but for how he lived. His story continues to inspire people to lead with honesty, think with clarity, and act with purpose.